Hi, I'm Ken Jr. and welcome to Train World TV. Here you'll find the latest and greatest in model trains. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to our channel, we're glad you're here, and I invite you to click the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll never miss a video. Now, we'd also love to send you exclusive deals and special announcements that you won't find anywhere else. So be sure to sign up for our emails, TW Text, and stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget, you can shop online at trainworld.com for all your model train needs. Now, without further ado, enjoy today's video.
Okie dokie, and hello everyone to the April 2026 Thomas Tuesday live stream. I am Christian V, one of your hosts of Thomas Tuesday, and I am absolutely ramped to be here this evening. Another time change, as a lot of us have seen, 5:30 p.m. EST. We just keep on changing the times, and we really appreciate everyone's flexibility in tuning in at this hour. I know a lot of us are actually coming out of work and school at the moment. So thank you again for those who are tuning in, and always make sure to check out the live stream after it is over too. But without further ado, our introductions. Ken Jr., the creator of Thomas Tuesday, my hero. How are you this evening?
Doing good, Christian. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Matt Stern from Bachmann Trains with the latest updates. He hinted a lot in yesterday's New Model Monday on the Bachmann YouTube channel. So we're in for, I think, a pretty nice treat this evening. How are you this evening, Matt?
Good. Always happy to be here.
Awesome. And our latest guest, Jacob Jarrett, also known as Corn Bob Flying Pringle, the creator of Project Tiger Moth, The Good Old Days, and tons of amazing replicas from the Thomas the Tank Engine television series, Engage One and other scales. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. This is new. This is exciting.
This is so exciting for me. It's exciting for a ton of people in the chat. I'm just going to do what I usually do, which is just put a bunch of comments just to explain or showcase who's watching, where they are from the world, state where you're from the world. We got a lot of people from the UK. I know a lot of times we get people from Korea too.
Wow.
All over the world. So again, it is 5:30 p.m. EST here on the East Coast of the United States. It's 2:30 p.m. where Jacob is over on the West Coast. But those of you all the way in Asia or Europe, I don't know what time of the day it is for you, but thank you for your flexibility and for tuning in to our latest live stream. Again, this is a great one, so you're not going to want to tune out at any given moment.
Oh, and happy belated Easter to everybody. Here's the rabbit from the Magic Red parody. Yo, what's going on? What's up? There he is.
I'm just going to hold that right there in the frame for a sec, Jake. I'm just going to put you in the center there.
Here he is. Hey, what's going on? Thomas Tuesday.
Shot.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Everyone remembers him from the Magic Road parody. The iconic shot.
He's my favorite. He's basically me.
Fantastic.
Dual purpose Easter bunny.
Oh yeah. I've got the original. This is the original Mr. Conductor hat that we used in the film. Nikki gave it to me last time we met up. You can see that it has turned purple. So now Mr. Conductor is purple.
God, so much to look forward to, guys, as you can see. And I'm just, again, in awe that Jacob Jarrett, the creator of Project Tiger Moth, and so many inspirational commissions that I've actually given to him in the past, is here this evening. So please stay tuned. Buckle your seatbelts. We're in for an ultra treat. But today, we actually are going to flip things around just a bit, with Matt actually going first to showcase the latest reveals. So without further ado, I'm actually going to pass it over to Matt, and he's got lots in store for us. So stay tuned.
All right, Matt.
I think it actually works out well because Jacob deserves some anticipation.
Absolutely.
But got a few samples to show off. Might as well just jump right into it. We've got start with narrow gauge. We've got 3 narrow gauge 009H130 box samples to show off. Which is the gunpowder wagons. Got the dark gray there, and then the tan here. So package samples mean that the final models are going to be on their way from the factory in the very, very near future. So look for those at Train World, probably, I would say, by the early summer at the latest.
Fantastic. Yeah, get your pre-orders in, guys. I think I said this in a previous stream, but the Defuse-It one in particular is very, very popular. That has handwritten text, I believe, from Tyler. Who also
Tyler, he did a fantastic job replicating that.
Very cool.
Straight out
I wish
of
I was
season
wearing
4.
my Defuse-It Gunpowder t-shirt. I've got a t-shirt with the logo on it. I should have known.
That's awesome.
You see, Matt, that's how iconic some of these things are from the
I
from the
know,
show.
yeah.
You got these t-shirts and hats, and it's just the list goes on.
Yeah.
You know, Ken, I know you're starting your collection too, aren't you?
That's right. That's right. All these Thomas Tuesdays, we got to build bigger and bigger. We just placed a big Bachmann order today with all Thomas and Friends characters, and it was a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff we were out on or running low on. So actually, Christian stopped by the store. He reminded me to get even more of the anniversary vans because we bought another batch, and they just keep on selling so quickly.
So always good to hear.
Absolutely. And Ken, you know, a big shout out to James, but the guy needs to understand that certain products don't belong on certain racks. In other words, he puts like the brake coach in front of a composite coach thinking they're the same product. And I told him that's not the case.
That's right.
So
just a quick note on the gunpowder wagons. We are also doing the prototypical Festiniog railway version of this as well. That'll be coming out. We're hoping by the end of the year. We got 2 paint schemes for that: the Festiniog cement and the name is escaping me now, but we're doing a private owner version of it as well. That the real car that this was based on is actually painted in right now. So look for these hopefully this summer, and then the prototypical ones to follow by the end of the year.
Cool.
And then staying in the theme of box samples, got box samples for our new release tar tanker here, and for our milk tanker as well. Show this a little closer here, so you can see it's got the new body color, which I think looks really nice in the tar tanker, especially with the black body. Got a little gradation in it now. Got the tar on the end there as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then there's the milk tanker, which has the same slightly lighter body color. So again, those should be coming out and available at Train World, hopefully by the summer. And last but not least, for box samples, got the open carriage.
Ooh.
I know a lot of people have been interested in this one because it's kind of unlike anything we've done before.
It's pretty unique.
So that'll be here possibly a little later than the others potentially, but around the same time frame. So I guess we should probably move on to the new stuff, right?
Let's do it. Bring it on.
So I've only got 2 things today, and they're both rolling stock items, but I think they're worthwhile. So the first one here, Sodor China Clays wagon.
Ooh.
And this has our brand newly tooled China Clay load.
Wow.
Very cool.
So
Nice.
instead of just repainting the coal load or offering it with no load, we wanted to do it right. So we
Nice.
had this chunky China Clay load done just as it looks. It was replicated from the CGI era, but then the paint scheme, of course, is from the Railway Series books. So it's kind of a merge of two different eras.
Very cool. And is the load removable, or is it just like glued in?
No, it is removable, so you can take that out. It's got supports to make sure it sits at the right height. And there's the wagon on its own.
That's awesome.
Wow. Can we actually see the load close up? I'm just dying to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Christian, you may need to buy two now. One, you take it off, and then one with it on. So
I don't know. Again, the illustration that we got this inspiration for this paint scheme from has a whole line of them. So I think Christian will need a whole line of them.
That's true too.
Gosh, here we go. Rest in peace, my bank account.
But yeah, so I believe it was Mavis who was hauling them in the original illustrations. It's got Brendam on it there, Soda China Clays Limited, 16 tons, and I mean, we felt like doing this Railway Series paint scheme worked for two ways. One, that it's just a little more exciting than the plain red wagons that we've already offered, just with a different load. And also it kind of is timed nicely because with it being the anniversary year for Thomas himself this year, it's another Railway Series tribute.
Very nice.
So that's the China Clay wagon, and now we've got a new tool sample.
Oh boy!
It's kind of, I should say. We all recognize this, the 12-ton van.
Ooh, vent van.
Turn it around this way.
Hey!
Got a face.
Troublesome truck number 7.
Number 7.
That's his legal birthright, his legal name.
So this is obviously an unpainted sample. So his face will be a different color to the body. He won't look quite as ghost-like as he looks here. But yeah, this is a cool one. First box van troublesome truck we've done. And we've done the some of the similar vans, but nothing box van style yet until this. So this is one that we worked actually very hard on getting the face right on. We didn't have a lot of reference material for the face. So we a lot of this was done from just getting the angles, screenshots and stuff like that, and a lot of back and forth at the factory. But I think it turned out pretty well. And he will have the mischievous side eye look, which we also haven't done. Usually we have them looking straight forward. He's going to be looking off to the side like he's up to something.
Oh. Yeah.
So that is troublesome truck number 7.
Yeah. And just a reminder, guys, there's 2 gray open wagons. There's a cattle wagon, a 6-ton wagon, or like a smaller open wagon, rather, a salt van, a tanker, and now a 12-ton van. So, Matt, is there any plans for troublesome truck number 8?
Of course. We'll keep the line going as long as there's a troublesome truck to go after.
That's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, so that's everything I have to show today. We had a few more samples I wanted to show, but they are currently out at the on their way to the Rocky Mountain Train Show. So if you're in the Denver area, Bachmann will be at the Rocky Mountain Train Show, and we'll have some of our Thomas products on display there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And guys, as always, be sure to take screenshots and post all over Twitter and Instagram, tag Train World. We want these to go viral.
Actually, now's a good time to take a screenshot of Matt Stern at Bachmann Trains for a raffle. So we're going to do a raffle. We're going to do another anniversary car that we'll raffle off.
And Ken, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I did ask Jacob last night if there is a raffle to come up with a question.
Oh,
I forgot to come up with a question.
So there's 2 parts of this. You got to ask a question and also take a screenshot right now for troublesome truck number 7 and tag Bachmann Trains, tag Train World. And that will be the first part of your homework, and share that on the social media universe, either Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. Or whatever you desire. And then part
Actually, here's a good question. Here's a good question. 2-parter. Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah.
But in the model era, which episode was the first one that had a troublesome van? specifically like a troublesome vent fan.
Oh,
And
that's
then
a good question.
also in the CGI era, what was the first episode with a troublesome vent fan? So you have to answer both the model and CGI eras.
All right, so we're doing a 3-parter now.
Yeah.
And get in contact with Christian, and big apologies to the raffle winner that I wasn't on the show with. There was some coordination issues, so it took a little longer, but we got the raffle. I think that was an anniversary van as well that we raffled off. But this one, I'm not sure if we're going to do a blue or a red one, whatever we have in stock, but we'll have Christian hopefully pick out a winner with all the 3 parts. So he's doing the work, and Matt's doing his best good looking pose so he could go viral out on the social media space.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And I did see some questions in the chat about N-Scale Henry, because I know there's a lot of anticipation for him. So just to offer an update on that, his design has been approved. So we've finalized the design. It just has to go into tooling now, which means that we should be getting an unpainted sample, hopefully in the next. I don't want to put an exact time frame on it, but in the next few months. So there will be Henry news in the not too distant future.
Very cool. A lot of people were asking about Scotsman too, Matt. Any update on that?
We just announced it.
Yeah. So Flying Scotsman, Henry obviously has been announced for a while now. Flying Scotsman is a little bit behind where Henry is. We're still working on the design development for that. So a little bit longer before we have something to show, but we're working on it.
Sounds good. All right, good. I'm starting to see more and more people put in the answers to these questions. So yeah, guys, put them in, because keep in mind, sometimes I just randomly pick. So it's never too late.
N-Scale Diesel and Paxton, I just saw that one show up as well. We actually showed off the first tooling samples of those on the last stream. I think we did, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
How many express coaches are you guys doing? Do you guys have like both the red and the green ones?
So we have the green ones announced right now, but it's not going to stop there.
I was going to say you got to do the red ones. People will eat those up.
I think we can probably do that at some point.
And Matt, just if you have a picture for the gunpowder wagon, if you could send that over. I don't think you listed on your website, so.
Okay. Yep, definitely.
That looks great.
Yeah.
And then Sydney and Mainland Diesel, they're also. We actually just got the final face samples in, production face samples in. So I didn't bring those because they look a little weird without the eyes. It's kind of just a little scary. You got these soulless eyes, but we'll save that for the when they're applied to the models. Get the full reveal.
Cool. Very cool stuff. Lots to pre-order, guys, and they're going fast again. All right, so make sure you hop onto trainworld.com and get your pre-orders in sooner rather than later, because often what'll happen is once the model's released, if we got a certain amount of pre-orders, a certain amount of basically within the batch, all of a sudden it's off the website, and then it might be off to the website for months, depending on when the next shipment arrives at Bachmann. So it's never too early to get your pre-order in. Hop onto Train World, get it in. Troublesome Truck number 7 and many others.
Yeah, Christian, come on, that's not what happens. Tell them the real story. As soon as it comes in, Christian corners the market and buys everything online from trainworld.com, so nobody else could have another variation. So he wants to corner the market on all Bachmann, Thomas, and Friend products. So he'll just keep on gobbling it up. So make sure you get your pre-order and to guarantee it.
Now, Ken, why did you have to tell him my secret about the secret closet in my house with all those products?
You're ordering too quick. That's it.
I don't know. With the size of your layout, you don't need a secret closet. You got room for it all there.
That's right.
Maybe, but I gotta hide it somehow.
Christian has informed his parents that the layout will now go into the kitchen. He ran out of room in the basement, so
Oh man,
we're going to the kitchen now.
you'll have to have Gordon's Hill going up the stairs.
I was just thinking that. Yep.
It's like a series of Rube Goldberg machines that like it brings you your breakfast in the morning.
All right.
Gosh. But in all seriousness, Matt, the products look outstanding, and the chat's going crazy as always. And thanks so much for showcasing these new reveals.
Thank you, Matt.
Not a problem. Always a fun time to come on.
Awesome. All right. And without further ado, I guess we'll shift it over to our guest this evening, Jacob.
Yes, I got a lot of little trinkets and knickknacks and little doohickeys and all sorts of stuff, I guess, to show. As far as the presentation goes, I guess, Christian, if you want to just pull up the folder and just start with, I guess, whatever you want to start with, and we'll just go through them and I can just talk and rattle on about all this stuff.
All right. Can everyone see my screen?
I sure can.
All right.
I know what that is. That's there he is.
Oh yeah. We'll have to do this a certain way, Jacob, where like we go back and forth from the Google Slides so that we can get a good shot of you holding Toby as well.
Sure. So I guess to start things off, these are the actual 35 millimeter photos that we took. Eric Pierre 53 brought his film camera. So these are actually on real film. Wow. And so this is the set from the good old days where it's Toby's old line.
Oh, sorry.
He's got all the figures on the platform. There's a really interesting mix of both real prop figures and replicas.
Oh, wow.
And I think anyone would be pretty hard pressed to tell which is which, but I think there's about 4 or 5 real ones in this photo, including Topham, I think the lady in the brown, the schoolboy, and the lady next to him. And then the guy in the back in the brown, I think, is also real. It was really fun to be able to feature like real props from the show in this thing.
Amazing. Okay.
Can you just give a background about yourself and I guess how you came about of all this? Oh,
true. Yeah, I guess I didn't properly introduce myself. So
yeah, Christian knows who you are and was very excited. So he wants to get straight to the meats and potatoes. But if you could just give a warm up of who you are and how you came into the world of Thomas.
Yeah, so I'm Jacob Jarrett. I joined Twitter about exactly 10 years ago. I started working on the Thomas Creator Collective with a bunch of friends of mine back in the day, and that just sort of blossomed and spiraled into this big ongoing sort of creative life that I have now. So I went from working on the Thomas Creator Collective to working on the Magic Road parody, and then eventually culminating in me developing Project Tiger Moth and doing that. Since then, not so much stuff has been going on with me, but I've got tons of props and things to show. So this will definitely be interesting for sure. There's tons to talk about.
Awesome. And would you like to just go through the Google folder before showcasing the models up close?
Sure. Yeah, we can just go through them sort of one by one, and I'll just sort of talk about. I don't know what order they're in. The film photos were dumped into the folder at the last second.
Okay, no worries. Do you want to go through your behind the scenes pics of you two?
Sure. Yeah. So this is that's me and my friend Daniel and my friend Keaston. We went to film school together back in Oklahoma, where I just moved from. So whenever it came time to do Tiger Moth, I told all my buddies in my class, I'm like, hey, I'm doing this thing, and I'm going to need all hands on deck for a week. And these guys were like ride or die. They really helped me out. And what we're doing here is, this is the crane shot at the very beginning of the episode that we filmed. So we borrowed this huge crane from my film teacher, and we'd never used it before. And every time we tried to hoist the camera up into the air, it would be really shaky and really like bouncy. So what actually made it into the final episode was a super stabilized, super digitally, augmented version of that shot. It's not my favorite, but that was the first shot that we filmed. on the very first day that we got together. So it was a very steep learning curve. I think we must have spent about 2 hours trying to get it just right. But that's what's going on there. We probably started like 9 a.m., finished at like 11 p.m. at night.
And Jacob, Lewis is here. He says hello.
Hello, Lewis.
And did you start this as like a school, more of a school project, or just because you wanted to like just film with your friends, or what was like really spurred the creation of all this?
Yeah, so it kind of started in like 2019. I'd been involved in a couple different like displays and train shows with like the original props on display. Like I'd been able to work on some original models from the show. So I've had a lot of time to get really like up close and personal with, existing examples of the real props and stuff. And I just sort of had this idea. I'm like, well, if we can put on the train shows and if we can do little displays like the Lower Tidmouth show, I think in the UK we did that. And I was like, well, how much further of a step would it be from doing a little diorama to doing a full-fledged set? And this was coming right off the heels of Magic Railroad parody. So I was finishing up that project and I was getting really excited about starting a project of my own. So it just sort of, just culminated in me getting together with Rob. There he is. Rob's been like my number one since day one. Because, we went from working on Magic Railroad parody and then we finished that. And I sort of approached him and I said, hey, what if we did something with Gauge 1? Because at the time, it had never really been done before. Like Gauge 1 was still kind of like on the rise, back in like, late 2019, early 2020. And I just figured, well, no one else has ever done it before. We have all these materials now, we have all these tools, like we're so lucky to have all these different resources and assets and stuff. And like, Lewis in the chat obviously helped me a lot with stuff because he's got all kinds of props and materials for like he helped me make all the windows for all the little buildings and get all the face casts together. So I was really just kind of in the perfect place at the perfect time to sort of network with all these different people. And that's really just how it came together. It just sort of started snowballing from like late 2019, early 2020. It's just a vague idea to suddenly like 2022, which is when these photos are from. We were just in the midst of filming it. So it was a 2-year process of just getting from page to screen. It was really fascinating to be kind of like in the shoes, so to speak, of the original model crew. Like, it's kind of unbelievable. Like, it was the first. I don't know what else there is to say.
Yeah, you are on the set.
Yeah, this is the set. I think I'm trying to see what's happening here. I think this is us taking down the windmill. I think we had started with the windmill set. You can kind of see the curve track radius, which tells me that is that set. And we had one table that we were filming all the different sets on. So it would be literally just a process of you get there in the morning, the set is ready or almost ready, you dress it, we film all the shots that we need to film, and then it's like immediately like we got to start ripping everything up, pulling it all down, vacuuming up all the ballast, putting it into buckets, and then setting it up again for the next like hour, So we had a very, very quick turnaround time to get them completely changed from one set to the next. It was crazy. We had 5 or 6 or 7 days. About a week, generally. We might have had a day or two on either side for prep, but it's such a blur. It feels like it was just 5 days.
And here is that set completed.
Yes, that is the windmill. That's one of my favorite things. What's actually going on there? That's a Lego. If you have ever had a Lego train set, there's a Lego train set chassis that's inside the windmill. Because I didn't have any other kind of motors available. Because I'm not really like a technical guy. I love building the models. I love doing the painting stuff. But when it comes to like the electrical engineering side and like doing all that, I'm a total layman. I have no clue about like putting diodes and wires and motors and gears. So Lego was the easiest thing that I could just, grab. So that's what's going on in there is Lego.
And in the chat, my good friend Val, so our model monger, shout out to him. He's asking about your sky, how you did that.
The sky is fascinating. So there was a local shop near me where I'd filmed the trailer footage, because when we did the trailer, I wanted it to look like it was like in Shepperton Studios. And of course, where we were actually going to film the episode was just in a classroom. So I wanted to get something special for that. And it just happened to be a sign company that produced like signs for billboards that you'd see like on the side of like 16-wheeler trucks or like on the highway. So they were probably the only place equipped to print something so large. I think that they had a printing bed of like, 5 feet. And that's kind of what we started with. We did 2 5-foot sections that were like 25 feet long. And then we connected those in the middle. And I think if you zoom out, you might be able to see there's actually 2 different skies in the photo, or maybe in one of the other ones. I think in one of the ones where, it's where we're working on the set there. You can see we have one big sky in the background that's going almost to the ceiling. So that's the one that's 2 giant halves of vinyl canvas that have a sky image printed on it. I went through every single episode of season 5 and took screenshots and meticulously mapped out every single cloud and tried to piece it together from all the different angles and photos as best as I could. So we got that first one made in 2 halves, and it was way too big. Like, it was kind of a permanent fixture. It was so heavy to move because we had these huge stands, and it was all roped up and, tightened, so we couldn't really move it around. And on the first day of filming, we kind of realized, like, well, if we want to film the set from any other direction, we have to move either the entire sky to be on a completely different side of the set, or we would have to rotate the whole set around. And neither of those in that small space was really a possibility. So on the night of the first day of shooting, I called up the company. I said, hey, we need another one that's only like, 5 feet by 8 feet. And that one actually turned out to be perfect because we could just kind of wiggle it and slide it into the shot. And it was just big enough that when we applied the crop that you couldn't see the edges. So that was a huge hassle. And it was shiny, and it was reflective, and it was wrinkly. So for anyone trying to do that, I would maybe recommend a different material than like plastic canvas. But it got the job done. And what I ended up doing in the episode is I ended up actually airbrushing all the wrinkles out. You can see just how egregious it is here. But it did its job.
Yeah, I mean, it looked so convincing on film. And by the way, guys, we are going to be running through that episode at some point during the stream, so stay tuned for the 4K version of the U.S. narration, narrated by the wonderful Robert McGee.
Exclusive. You're seeing it here first. You haven't, unless you've been to the screening. I think this is a version that has not been online. I screened the 4K US dub at the actual premiere, and then on the YouTube version, it's the VHS version, because when I released it, I kind of wanted to channel like because when you're watching a Thomas episode for the first time, you're typically watching it like as a kid or like on YouTube in like the early 2000s in a very low quality upload. So that's what I was aiming for. That explains why there's 2 different versions, one with the VHS filter and one without. I really love the VHS one, although it is fun to see it in 4K. Like, there's just something comfy about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I was also hoping that it would kind of help sell the illusion a little better. But after seeing the 4K one, I think it deserves a chance to be shown on its own. So yeah, US 4K version is going to be here on this stream.
Yes, so don't go anywhere. All right. And do you have a suggestion on which one to click on next, Matt? Or excuse me, not Matt, Jacob?
Well, I was going to say the Y is really fun. The Y is,
yeah.
I think the Y is probably my favorite set that we built, just because it was something more original. All the other sets in the episode, like the first set is based on like Wellsworth Yards, and you see it in Oliver's Fine and Busy Going Backwards, mostly at night. It's in James and the Trouble with Trees. And we picked that one because I didn't want to build the roundhouse. Tidma Sheds would have just been too much. But this set, the Y, was the first one that we actually sort of originally designed, not based on any particular set from the TV series. And I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It was definitely a challenge to try to utilize all the table space because you can't really see it, but the table ends sort of right on the other side of those bushes.
Oh, wow.
And there's so much detail to take in now that I'm looking at these again. I mean, it's been 4 years since we filmed it, just about. And I'm just noticing now there's seagulls everywhere. I don't know if you can really see, but on the end of the crane, there's a seagull. I know there's a seagull on top of a workman's head somewhere. There's seagulls on top of the logs, seagulls on top of the buildings. They're just little white specks in these photos. I probably might be able to see them better in the 4K version, exclusive to this live stream. But
what did you
just
use
tons of fun little
to
detail.
Sorry to cut you off there, but what did you use for all of this, the greenery and the shrubs and the trees?
So the foliage is really fun because I was able to actually track down the exact bush kind of thing that they use. It's some plastic sort of like faux, decoration stuff for like a potted plant. And I managed to track it down on some weird website I'd never heard of. And I just bought bulk loads. And the majority of it probably is from Hobby Lobby. I think I went there on a week where they were having a big sale and just bought all the Hobby Lobby, foliage stuff. But I sprayed some of it and I painted it a different color green because it's so plasticky and reflective when you first get it that they had to be weathered and sort of painted just like everything else. So I remember distinctly, like I think the first day before we were shooting, spending like an hour just stamping and painting all these bushes so they wouldn't be as reflective. And it's the same story with the grass mat. When you buy the grass mat from Home Depot or wherever, I think it's just like the regular sort of AstroTurf stuff you can find. And that stuff is really, really shiny and neon green, reflective. So before we filmed, I had to lay it out flat in the driveway and just go at it with different yellows and greens until it looked like natural grass. And I think it speaks for itself. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the trees, are those just like branches that you cut off, or?
Oh yeah, we might have even just went to whatever tree was outside the building we filmed and just on the day just cut them.
Gotcha. I mean, it really looks realistic. That's what I really like about this. Yeah. And once again, for those of you who don't know, these models are gauge 1, which is an exclusive scale. Actually, Ken, I was on you the other week about carrying the track from the UK because Markland makes it as well as a company 10 mil. But we'll have to see if we can work that out at some point.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's pretty big stuff, pretty heavy stuff. Like here he is. Here's Toby.
Actually, let me. Sorry, hold that up, Jake, just for a second as I change. There we go.
Oh,
wow.
Do you have the moving? Sorry, do you have the moving eye remote control with you?
Funny story. So all his mechanics don't quite work. I mean, I can do a little demo just by moving the servo arm around, but this is not recommended. He's got black tack all up in his eyes, but there he is. And you can see his brains. Here are his brains.
Wow.
You can see the iMech in there, built by Lewis and T-Doc. And there's the Markland chassis, everything. So this isn't a feature that was present on the original. The roof was originally glued, but I loved having the access point. So I made mine removable. It is plastic though, but it is plastic with a metal aluminum, I don't know what you call it, just sort of glued to the underside just to keep it in shape. Otherwise, if you try to glue a curved piece of plastic, it'll eventually flatten out and bow out and just be a nightmare. So that was the first thing I wanted to avoid with Toby was I want him to have a roof that is removable, but is never going to go flat. So that's how I did that.
Amazing.
Matt, do you think that would be ever possible, like as a large scale to do, moving eyes?
I think our large scale products do have moving eyes.
No, but like controlled with DCC.
Oh, you mean like where you could control the direction of them?
Yeah.
I don't know. That would I'm sure the technology is possible. I don't know, that might be a significantly higher price point to have that that mechanism that could move in all those directions like that.
That would
It would be awesome though.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest you guys should do. I don't know if this is even in the realm of possibility, but I'd love to see a large scale Harold the Helicopter remote control toy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that that's never been done. Someone's got to do that.
Yeah, that would be a little bit out of our area of expertise, but
It's gonna move.
It's not exactly model trains, I guess, at that point. It's a little removed.
That's cool.
But someone should do
Tell you
it.
something, Matt. If you do that, I'd buy like 10 of those.
10 have a whole a fleet of Harolds.
Yeah, I would be just so invested in that. That would be amazing. But,
Or maybe even an HO scale one, like those little mini indoor helicopters that you can buy.
Yeah,
Have that flying around your layout.
absolutely. That would be awesome. Anyways,
I will say I do have to, unfortunately, hop off the stream now to go help out with the family stuff. But Jacob, it's hard to tear away because this is really fascinating stuff. It's amazing. When the first photo you showed, I was like, oh, this is just a photo of like behind the scenes when they were filming the real thing.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. Thank you.
But yeah, I'll definitely be back later on to watch. So yeah, thank you. It looks awesome.
Thank you. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
Take
thanks,
care.
Matt.
See you guys.
Take care.
Amazing.
Yeah, I guess we
Jake.
could just sort of continue on. There's no real proper order. We can just go through them.
Order?
We
Okay.
wouldn't have to spend too much time on each photo, but
Sounds good. Well, this was, yeah, we went through this. Nice.
yes, that's the original Sir Topham Hatt's car there on the road. That was a really fun sort of opportunity. I was very lucky to actually be working on the prop at the time that we were filming because it needed restoration. If you've seen the Twitter thread, you'd know. But it was a great joy to like have all this, mix of original and new stuff, just to be able to pay tribute to all the original, model builders and all that stuff. It's just, yeah, unbelievable. It's kind of, it felt scary holding it. I kind of had to put it into my mind. It's like, well, everything else here that I'm filming with, I'm treating like their original props anyway. So I had to sort of get over that anxiety of like, oh, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to, damage it. And, thankfully nothing happened, but, it was exhilarating just having it out of the box for 30 minutes to, all right, I guess it's just going to be on a set again for the first time in, 20 years or whatever. So it's, yeah, exciting stuff.
Absolutely. And what did you use for the road? I'm just curious.
The road is just cardboard. I think we did that on the day.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a lot of stuff here that, it's funny. The Lower Tidmouth, the platform that it's on, in the show, it's actually sort of shaped, to have the building sit on the back. We did not have a platform built to the right shape. I think what this is actually just the Lower Tidmouth platform. Or no, sorry, this is the Ellsbridge platform from our Ellsbridge shows. And I think we very quickly just built a rough extension out of foam just to give it something to sit on because it's sitting right on the edge. Pretty much most, if not all, of Tiger Moth was made with the idea of like, okay, we're only going to see this for 1 second. We can kind of finagle it and just make it work because, there's so much stuff that you don't anticipate having to need. Like, oh, we don't have a road. What do we do for a road? Oh, well, we have cardboard. Someone get on, the floor and start painting it quick.
Amazing. And yeah, is that what they used in the show though too for the road? They used cardboard.
Yeah, they probably did something a little more sophisticated. They probably had like a nice plank of wood.
Gosh, I was wondering. 'Cause I remember in the show too, it always looked so smooth. So I knew it wasn't plaster. It had to be something like wood that was very, very finely sanded.
I've heard wood, but I've also heard like sandpaper, like high grit sandpaper, like has a really good sort of asphalt texture. So I've heard of that being used in like model projects and stuff. Maybe that's like a Thunderbirds or Jerry Anderson thing that David Mitten probably remembered and carried over because a lot of the techniques that you see in Thomas are actually like Jerry Anderson stuff. So it's really fascinating to watch and kind of see the connective like DNA and just the visuals.
Absolutely. Great. And yeah, went through that. Another angle of the same set.
You can see our lights there. Here's Toby coming through the bushes, having a crash face. Ooh, I love this one. That's a good one. Yeah, you can see the backside of the workman's hut's not detailed in that photo. So I think we must have flipped it around or did something to hide it. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was the first set we built.
Amazing.
It's a nice little set. I don't have much to say.
Yeah. Is it 10 mil track you used, or is this Pico?
I believe this is mostly, I think it's all 10 mil on the right side, and then maybe on the left side it's all Pico, because we had Pico switches. So where the switches are, I think, is all Pico. But season 5 was the only season to use Pico at all, actually. So we lucked out, because I was not about to buy the 10 mil switches. They were too expensive.
Yeah. Show that. Windmill. Oh, nice. Another angle of that. Gordon. Cool.
Yeah, the shot that everyone thought was a secret deleted B plot from Tiger Moth. All these, because we were just having fun at this point, setting up all the different rolling stock and just playing around. And I think that's how we sort of soft leaked it or announced it. I think we just put up a photo of Gordon and Toad together. And then after the episode was announced, everyone's like, well, where's the Gordon and Toad scene? Well, that'll be coming out in the Project Tiger Moth director's cut. We're going to collect all the original films and put it together. So,
and Jacob, I'm actually going to bring the camera to you just for a second, because my battery is running extremely low. I have to get my charger, so I'm going to need 1 minute. So if you could just maybe showcase one thing in the meantime, that'd be great.
Gotcha. Well, I got several things here I could show. I would just wonder where to start. I could continue with the Tiger Moth talk and show a bunch of Tiger Moth stuff, because I've got like a Topham over here. But let's do deep cut instead. This is, some of you guys might know what this is. This is the windmill from the Magic Railroad parody, or what's left of it. Hold on, I should be wearing my. You know what? I'll wear Nikki's hat to represent my comrade, Mr. Conductor Fan 1406, as he can't be here today. But yeah, this is the windmill from Magic Red parody. It was a kit that I actually picked up in the UK when I was off to the Isle of Man to do some filming. And yeah, so I picked it up and took it home with me. And what's interesting about this is you'll notice that the base is actually like a hexagon, and it's not curved. It's not curved like the actual kit is supposed to be. And that's because when Nikki and Rob met up together in, I think, July of 2018, they filmed all of the sequences of them interacting in front of Rob's house. Now, Rob's house just has like a flat brick wall with a little, pipe and a little air conditioner coming off of it. So we needed to figure out a way to integrate the live action footage with the model photography. And of course, having a round windmill base was not going to work. So I think I actually might have even picked up the brick sheets in England. I'd love to know what kind they were, because I'm a huge fan of just the design of the bricks. But yeah, so we just made a hexagon windmill base.
Yeah,
is it something from the show or the movies? No. Well, did it work for what we needed? Yes. Yeah. And also another funny thing about this is, just real quick, this is actually a wind-up Thomas motor. I took a wind-up Thomas and basically destroyed it and ripped the body off and sort of glued the windmill blades to it. And that's how it's pathetically trying to spin right now. And that's definitely how the blade snapped off in the last 6 years of, well, there you go. That's what happened. That's, but yeah, there you go. That's the windmill.
That is awesome. Wow. And going back to the folder we have here. Nice shot of Toby there. Oh, wow. I love this.
The Milk Depot was fun to make. I love the Milk Depot.
Mm.
I just had to have that.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, it just gives you an idea of how big the space was.
Huge. Well, actually, not so huge. Well, it looks pretty big, but honestly, considering what we were working with, we were kind of underscaling our sets a little bit. I think on the show they had like a 20, either a 16 by 20 or like a 15 by 20 set, and I think we were going like maybe 10 by 15 or 10 by 12. It was we had just enough space to really make it work, but we were literally getting sandwiched like right up against the walls because when you have to have room for the lights, you got to have room for the cameras, you got to have room for the guys to get around and under the set. So it was pretty cramped, especially when you have 8 people, but it worked out for what we needed it to be.
Yeah. And what were you guys all drinking in these red cups over here?
Ballast. That's ballast cups. So.
Oh, ballast. Oh, wow. This is cool.
Yep. And you can see, just like I was saying before, if you really zoom in on the back of the Lower Tidmouth building, you can see that there is really no platform there. It is just sort of a block of foam holding it up. So, if there's one takeaway to get from all this is that, I know it's Project Tiger Moth and it's this big thing, but I mean, it's really made on a dime store budget. I feel like just about anybody could probably do what we did with a little bit of money. It's all, just cardboard and foam, really.
But it's amazing just once you get into editing it, how convincing it can look on camera. Really. So.
You got to really just have an eye for what's actually going to be on screen. Cause I could have spent months and months and months detailing everything on all 4 sides, but I just I had a roadmap. I'm like, well, these, cause I had it all storyboarded. It's like, well, these buildings are only going to be in these shots and you only see them from this angle. So that's a corner I can cut. I can just detail the front side. And, it's pretty methodical having to just go through the list and do all that stuff. I mean, I just remember a huge stack of paper we printed out for everybody. Everybody had a shot list. Everybody had a spreadsheet. Everyone had a checklist of do we have batteries? Do we have lights? Do we have, chargers? Do we have spare eyes? Do we have spare pupils? We probably filled up half the room just with materials and the other half was the set. I mean, it was just crazy for a whole week being in this room.
That's how it is, yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, who have big model train layouts can relate. When they're getting started, they got the scenery products and track laying all over the place. And then it's like, oh, shoot, yeah, here's the glue, here's this, here's that. And everything's on top of each other. And the more you work on it, the more messy things get. You're not, so.
And especially in a time crunch where it's like, okay, we got to film this shot in the next 15 minutes. Oh, we need glue. Who's got the super glue? Oh, who's got the tweezers, running around just, by ourselves in this building, in this classroom, just trying to find everything was, it got pretty intense many times.
Did you guys have AC though and stuff? Or was it unbelievably hot or cold in those rooms?
We were able to get the AC on because we filmed it in a church.
Okay.
And so it was just during the week whenever they didn't have a service. And so I asked them, I'm like, can we use the room? And they were like, okay, yeah, you can use the room. And I'm like, and we need the air conditioner on in the church the whole time because I think we did one day of setup, maybe a week or 2 before the actual shoot. I went there and just sort of tested the waters. And I was like, it's going to get really hot really quick. So I begged them to turn on the AC and they did. But we filmed this in October in Oklahoma and we were reaching 80, 90 degree days. I mean, it was just brutal for those first few. So I think we ended up blacking out the windows with tinfoil. It looked like we had some kind of crazy operation going from the outside, but no, it's just filming Thomas the Train models.
Do your old teachers who you borrowed some of the camera equipment from, do they realize how many views Tiger Moth got and how much of a success it became? Do they realize that, or have you ever told them afterwards?
Well, my film school friends and my film school teacher had kind of an idea, because when I joined the class, I was working on the Magic Railroad parody film, but of course it's a very lovingly amateurish 3-hour feature. I wasn't expecting anyone in my class to actually sit down and watch it, but they had an idea that sort of like, oh, this is cool, because I don't think they'd ever really seen anyone do stuff with models before, so it was pretty easy to convince everyone to get on board, because it's just right between like an animation and live action medium where they're probably used to thinking of like 2D movies and live action stuff like we were doing in the class. So to see something like this, I think everybody in the class that I asked to was like, yeah, get me in on this. I don't even know what Thomas is, but I'll show up and I'll be there. And I've made a lot of lifelong friends that way, of people that just, are not familiar with Thomas whatsoever, but they really understand and really just connected with the whole filmmaking aspect of it. That, it was not hard to convince them, to get involved. And I think everybody was really surprised how well it did. I mean, just the fact that we had a premiere in, New Jersey, and over 100 people showed up, like, for something that they worked on, and they've never seen an episode of Thomas, and everyone's, it was like Avengers Endgame when we premiered it. So to be able to say like, hey, this thing you worked on with me for this week, like, has this many views, and it was a riot at the premiere, like everybody was like, shocked. It was unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I can gladly say, Ken, that I was one of the lucky people who got to see the premiere, and it was quite the experience.
Yeah.
And we're going to be seeing your first reaction to this, because I don't think you've seen Project Tiger Moth.
No.
Yeah. It is just like the classic 4-minute and 30-second episode of season 5, but with Jacob Jarrett as the director, making it even cooler.
And it's a minute longer. It's a minute or two longer. I just couldn't bring myself to shorten it. There was just too many bits I wanted to keep in. So it's a little extra.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I never noticed the little notice sign. I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's almost directly sort of inspired by the in Toby and the Flood, when he goes past the waterfall sign. And I loved how sort of janky it is, and was clearly just drawn with a pen by some crew member at the 11th hour. And I was just like, yeah, it's got to be exactly like that. I could have made a nice graphic in Photoshop and printed it out, but I was like, no, it's got to be hand drawn. It's got to just be one of those little things that you look at that and it's like, it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, even just seeing closed, I'm just looking at that one word on its own. It kind of reminds me of the text from like the mine in season 4 in Grandpuff, like when the mine's closed. It has that same,
I was thinking that or season 3, the Sorry No Train sign. I love that one.
Yeah.
I think it's Thomas. Is it Thomas gets bumped, or because there's 2 season 3 episodes that have very similar titles. I've never been able to distinguish. It's Thomas Gets Bumped and Trust Thomas.
Okay.
Which one's which?
Trust Thomas is the one where he goes, on the water, on the raft thing. He goes across.
Right.
And then Bumped is just like with him and Birdie. But
for some reason, those episodes in my mind are like the same episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. I remember I had that issue too with, forgot it was, maybe it was Percy's Predicament and Percy Proves the Point. Just a lot of the Percy episodes from season 2 kind of blended together, in my opinion. But that was because they probably used them so much. But anyways, I digress. Ken's like, oh no, too much nerdy talk now.
No, that's okay.
But
yeah, there's original. That's the season 1 small scale Fat Controller model right there. Wow. I don't know if he's got enough detail to make out, but that's the same one that was on the set in the UK 40 years ago.
Amazing. So
it's definitely super fun to feature him. Even though I think you only see him from the back of his head, just the fact that it is, it's just so cool.
I'm just going to give a huge shout out to my good friend, Robbie Paddock. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad that you made it, because he is now an upcoming new Thomas fan, or I don't know how to describe it. Like, Jacob, what's the term for someone who was once a Thomas fan, kind of forgot about it, but is now returning? What do we call that? Is there a certain term for that?
I don't know, but that's applicable to me too. I mean, I had a very long sort of period before I joined the fandom where I was like, I'm too old for Thomas, and then I got back into it.
No.
One of us
hiatus. They went on a hiatus.
That's it. Ken, you're one of them too, right? Like before I joined, you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm done with Thomas," and then I came back, and you're like, "Oh yeah, you know what? Thomas is my thing now too."
That's right. Everybody goes on a little journey.
That's it. All right, let's see what we got here. More shots of that. Dang, Jacob, you got a lot in this folder. a lot of great shots. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of similar stuff we've seen before. There's the Topham.
Yeah, I'll just try to get a good close-up of that. Yeah, that's season 1.
His red little face. He's got super red cheeks.
Now I have to ask, even for those small scale figures, because I know we were having this conversation, like are they heavier than like say one that came out later in the 2000s?
Specifically the small scale figures?
Yeah, because I know we were talking about the close-up ones, but I'm wondering if the small scale ones also have the same kind of weight difference.
Yeah, so it's actually really fascinating. In the first 2 seasons, they use the same sort of resin material that they use for the faces on the figures. So I believe there's like a sort of rumor or I guess like an urban sort of legend that's like, oh, they're made out of wood or they're made out of lead, which is sort of true. They made little wooden masters for season 1 and then casted them in resin, but they didn't start making the figures out of metal until season 3. Season 3, they started making the small scale figures out of white metal or pewter. And I think that they just referred to them as lead just because it's an easy descriptor. I don't think they're actually made of lead. Otherwise, I would be very sickly right now because I've handled so many of them. But yeah, I think that they just switched to making them out of lead for season 3, I guess for the weight, because they had little holes in the bottom of their shoes, and I believe that they would have been pinned into the set. That's something I've noticed on all the existing examples of the lead figures that I've held, is they all have little pins in their shoes. So I guess maybe they just thought that them being heavier, weightier, they could stand up a little better. And also, like, if they end up getting broken or, arms falling off and stuff, or they got chipped, what they would do is they would just melt them right back down and you pour them again. So it was a reusable material in metal. Just throw them into a little kiln and melt it back down and reuse it.
Awesome. Just something to say real quick. Tim is here. How
Hi,
you
Tim.
doing, Tim? And my friend Rich was asking, he asked actually a few times, so apologies, Rich, if I missed your comment there, but Jacob actually has multiple models he's going to be showcasing in just a bit once we go through the drive, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. Yeah, some different angles again of the shots we talked about. Oh, nice. What was happening in this shot, Jake? You have kind of an interesting expression on your face.
Well, I think I'm filming. I think I can see the camera. I think what we're probably doing right now is I think I'm probably about to set up the shot where Toby's approaching the sign.
Oh, okay.
So I think probably what's happening is someone's probably calling my name, and I'm just like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Because it's very focused, getting all the detail right.
Awesome. Oh, that's a nice shot. God.
I gotta give credit to Eric. His photography is just off the charts. Like
yeah.
I'm so happy that all these were on 35 millimeter film. Oh, there we go.
Wow,
that's the money shot.
Beautiful.
That's like
beautiful.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like you just went to this magical land somewhere outside and just took a photo of the entrance there. So.
Yeah, it was great because this is the version of the set that we started with it being clean and then we made it dirty after the fact. So it was really, really challenging filming all the little shots of the station when it was completed and then setting up the wide shot and then getting the wide shot of it clean and then not moving the camera at all for like the next hour and a half while we just slowly dirty the setup and changed all the foliage. It was a challenge. Because then we had to film it all backwards because we started with this shot of Thomas, Percy, and Toby and all the trucks, because we were like, okay, well, that's where they're going to end up. And then we had to retroactively film Thomas showing up, film Percy showing up, film Toby showing up, and trying to kind of make it line up, because I think we probably ended up staging Thomas and Percy a little bit further back. Toby might have been further forward in all the other scenes and other shots. But yeah, so that's some of the technical headache that we had to go through.
Absolutely. And actually, yeah, Thomas did arrive with a works unit coach, but actually Dion Digger, sorry, just as a small digression, I apologize. Will Bachmann make the model series version of the breakdown train? I hope so, Dion. I hope so.
I hope so.
Because, like you, I am a big model series guy. So
the works unit is my favorite. Like, I think originally in the script we had Thomas pull up with Annie and Clarabelle in Sir Topham Hatt, but I was like, why does Thomas need Annie and Clarabelle here? He's doing a job. And I always loved seeing Thomas with the works unit in Thomas and the Rumors, so I'm like, we got to have that. And
oh yeah,
it's funny, the works unit model that we had, I think it wasn't insulated properly, so every time it ran on the tracks while they were powered, sparks would fly off the wheels. So it was like shorting out, the track system and sparking. So that was horrifying, and we just ended up, I think, like taping one of the wheels or the tires on the one side.
All right, Jake, I guess you told me now I got to go RC. Just for safety.
Just for safety, you don't have to worry about sparks flying.
Amazing. Nice. Oh, and here's another, how to describe it? Like the lighting is different, right? Or the filter is different, perhaps?
I think we probably just took a bunch of different versions at different exposures and different lengths, because when you're shooting with film, you have no idea what it's going to end up turning out like until it's developed. So yeah. The fact that they all came out so gorgeous is like, I love it.
Nice, wonderful signal box right there. Nice shot of Toby getting the models. Nice.
Yeah, they're all sort of jumbled up and out of order, but
Ooh, shot at the top of his car. So I know I'm speeding through these, but I know you had some shots of like your models on their own. Here we go.
Here we go. So this is a fun one. This is my replica of the barber. I made him last year, and I don't remember who I sold them to, but they were very nice.
Yeah, it was me. Just kidding.
This was so much fun. Yeah, sculpting the hair and doing the season 2 eyes, because in season 2 they have these really like small, very like thick, like pupils, and they look completely different from any other sort of eyes that they did from any of the other seasons. So, I've worked on like season 1 stuff. I've like made a bunch of I'm a 90s guy, even though I was born way after the 90s ended. So I'm obviously like, I gravitate more towards the season 3, 4, 5 figures. But, doing the season 2 Clearwater stuff was really, really fun. It was a fun challenge.
Nice, all different angles and shots. Nice, and some tankers here.
Yeah, so these were built by, I believe these were built by Lewis from Thomas Tank Merch. He assembled all the vac form kits for me. And wow. I think, I was debating which one to turn into the fuel tanker. And I didn't know this, but apparently it's very specific details. Like the end bracing on the season 1 ones is different than the season 2 ones. And like the positioning of the straps is like specific to like each season. So I had to get the right body in order to paint it up as a fuel tanker. And this is before my introduction to vinyl stickers. So what I did was I cut out a stencil and I literally painted and drew on all the lettering by hand.
That's amazing.
Like I'd probably never do it again with the advent of cricket cutting, but I felt really, really proud of the fact that I was doing it all by hand.
I was going to say that's so convincing. I mean, we had Caleb Trin come on Thomas Tuesday there a few years back, and it kind of reminds me when he told me that
love Caleb.
he taped out the lining on his Thomas HO model, something like that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how straight it still turned out, even with that. Like that.
Caleb's a wizard. I don't know how he
Yeah.
does it. I love Caleb.
Yeah.
His stuff is next level.
Well, he's the wizard and you're the god.
I think it's the other way around. I always feel like I'm the fanboy and everyone else, are the gods. And I just sort of waddled my way in here, somehow.
Amazing. And that's the finished product right there. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. I'm so happy with how that came out.
Yeah.
And just like the prop, it's only weathered on the one side, or it's only detailed on the one side. The other half of the fuel tanker on the show was completely blank.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Was that like that for all of them, like the tar and the milk and all, where only one side was painted?
I'm not the expert, even though I may appear to be. I want to say that they did have a lot of tankers that were only detailed on the one side. Maybe the lettering was only on the one side for some. I think by the time they started doing, because in season 1 and 2, like they would have some dual purpose ones that one half is a milk tanker, one half is tar tanker. But I think after they stopped doing that, I think they just started making like individual, like these ones are tar tankers, these ones are milk tankers. And I think from that point onward, they may have been detailed on both sides, but I'm not sure. I'm sure all you wagon heads in the comments, if anyone's a wagon expert, they can tell us.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of parading like an expert.
Another Raffle question for the future, guys. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. Wow.
So this is a prop Henry face. Yeah. I included this one because this is a face that Lewis sent me.
Oh wow.
To be restored. You can see he has a big chip on the end of his nose and a little bit of his lip. But this is the face that this one actually is really unique and special because this is the Henry face that has the hole drilled out in his mouth to shoot out the water in something in the air. So
that is awesome.
That's the one that goes beneath the surface and comes back up and shoots the water out. I should have included the photo of the back now that I think about it.
Just the fact that they did that all with practical effects, or it was all shot. They didn't do that with CGI. They actually put in the work to drill a hole and do it all. It's amazing.
Must have been fun. I'm envious of them. Like, oh hey, we can do. Oh, we'll just drill a hole in it. Yeah, just poke a little tube through it and squirt the water out. Yeah, like it's just genius stuff.
Oh yeah.
You can see a little close up there.
And
then I put this one in. This one's
that's a little creepy.
And I didn't even include a photo of the finished product. Oops.
It's all good.
What can you do?
Oh wow. So
actually, it is finished in that photo. If you look at the nose, I did fix it. So
okay.
That's the piece de resistance right there. Very nice. Can you tell who that is? Who's that supposed to be?
Jem Cole?
The file name on the screen gives it away. That's Jem Cole.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's a fun one.
Whoa. Okay. I'm just trying to pace out how much we're going through here before we go into the.
How much more time do we got?
We could probably go for another good solid 20 minutes or so.
Okay, I can speed run them.
Okay.
We can get through this. Let's
the figures, man. I love your figures. They are amazing.
Wow. That's true photo or movie quality. It's crazy.
Thank you. I've got one right here as well. This is my Topham from the good old days.
Hang on.
Well, this arm's actually like a.
There we go.
Everything else here is a replica except this arm came from like a 90s figure of Sir Topham Hatt. I've never really quite been able to screen match it because when I got it, it did not have fingers, but that's okay. It had all the general colors blocked out, but everything else is a replica. This is actually the body that I typically put the pilot head on, but that's packed away right now. So I've just got the good old days face on it, specifically based on the one from season 3 or Oliver's Find. I really like the way he looked in that episode, so that's sort of what I was going for. But you can see just how big they are. And let me tell you, these guys are heavy. They're made out of solid resin. I think if you scroll through them, you can see more. There's more photos here of just sort of the process of casting them and painting them, and
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that one, how it came out. Doing the eyes is such a challenge.
Topham. Oh wow, Lower Tidmouth.
Oh yeah, there's the Lower Tidmouth. That one was fun to build. He's real plaster to get that sort of like stucco, effect on the bricks. And the roof sheet, I think we took a casting from the original prop when we got it to restore, because we needed to make new sections of the roof. And so that is the original roof pattern, and it looks fantastic. I'm so happy with how that came out.
Yeah, now this is overly pedantic, but in the show, didn't they use Slater's sheet cards or brick cards?
Yes. So, well, I think that was more of a season 3 and 4 thing. I think originally, early on, they would have sculpted all of the roof tiles and the patterns for the doors and stuff from scratch. And the bricks that they would have used in season 1 and 2 were like paper pressed, like pressed into a paper brick mold. And those ones don't really survive into the hit era. I think after season 5 or 6, they went around and just replaced all the paper bricks with the Slater's kits. But I used paper bricks on mine because I was going for a season 5 look.
Amazing.
Very neat.
I mean, it really looks convincing. God.
I'm really happy I went with the 90s colors too, because it in season 1 and 2 it almost looks like that, but in season 5, I think when whatever episode is with the beach huts on wheels where Lady Hat's at the station, it looks it's got the little arches above the windows are accented white, and the roof is really, really pink, and it's gorgeous. I love it.
Wow, Maithwaite. Wow.
And this is the whole build process on Maithwaite, and this was back in 2021, several years ago. I started building it for my friend Parker. Originally, he wanted to reveal his Percy with Maithwaite there in the photos, and we never got around to that, but luckily we were able to get it finally publicly revealed for the Great British Train Show in 2024. So I made this in 2021, and it didn't get used in anything. It didn't appear in Tiger Moth, and it never went online. And yeah, basically 4 years in the making, it finally made its way onto the layout, but it was a long process.
Really amazing. Wow, that's beautiful.
I was really pleased with because they painted the roof gray in the hit era and after season 5, but I had to have the brown roof is just perfect. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Can you guess what this is yet?
Sorry.
File name gave it away again.
Sorry, I gotta go slower. But
this is the narrow gauge signal box from Toby's Discovery that I just had to have it. It was basically just like a big checklist of like, well, if I was going to do my own episode, what would I put in it? Oh, you got to have this, you got to have that. And I really, really, I feel like a bit of a broken record just being like, oh, I love this. But, I curated specifically sort of my favorite projects just because, like, I'm just a huge fan of this one in particular. It's from season 4. It appears in season 5, and I don't believe it ever appears again. But it's at the Miners' Halt in Surprise for Percy. It's in most of the episodes in season 4. Hey, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Hello.
I had to put that in the chat.
I got to represent Magic Road Parody crew. But yeah, there we go. Oh, that's when I painted it too yellow.
Oh, that time, yeah.
Yeah, looking at screenshots and looking at the saturation, you can never really quite tell. I've had many projects where I've finished painting it, and then I really looked at the photos and went, it's too it's too dark or it's too saturated. So
saturated, yeah. Yeah, because like season 5 in particular, you look at a lot of the buildings, like the town buildings in particular, and they had more of a like a faded feel. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 'cause they repainted them again and again and again. Like I really love how they look at the fishing village, where
Yeah,
they painted them
exactly.
all like pink and white and like
Right.
like
Yeah, that's exactly what I
powder
was thinking.
blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are great. And then they painted them brown for season 8, and like they eventually just like, started accumulating all these different layers of paint. So for me, it was nice because that meant if I messed up really bad and had to repaint it again and again and again, it just sort of added to the authenticity.
Absolutely.
And the same can be said for the engines too, because I know that when I built my Gordon, I had to repaint it again and again because every single time I was about to finish it, it was like, oh, I got to respray this and I got to repaint that. And in the end, it kind of aided the look of the model because it really looked like it was something that had been beaten up and sprayed 20 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, I'm just looking at this. I can't believe that I was hand cutting this out of wood. Nowadays, what you do is you just get a big CNC machine and get it laser cut. But this was the before times.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, super happy with how the colors came out on the brickwork.
Yeah. I mean, it really looks just like Oliver's shed from season 5. That Oliver spine shot.
Very neat.
Oh, there's
A lot of
Toad.
work goes into these. You could tell it's just, I don't know how you did it. God bless you.
It's a lot of patience. Thank you. It takes a lot. Believe you me. But yeah, it's been really interesting getting getting to this point. Like I never really was a huge gauge 1 modeler until I just started doing it out of the blue back in like 2020, 2021. So like I feel kind of like a novice still, even though I'm the guy who made the episode. I still feel like I'm just learning how to do it in a way.
Absolutely. And a big shout out to another friend of mine, Gordon Pacifico 4. He is on the trail on the East Coast. Finally found Wi-Fi in the mountains. Big shout out to you, man. Big shout out.
I do hate to do this, but I got to run. But Jacob, it was amazing stuff. Really incredible, and you could tell the workmanship and craftsmanship just truly unbelievable. And the amount of views that you got on your video is unbelievable. It's that's an achievement in itself. So great job, and keep up the good work. And hopefully there's some more videos and series to come. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you. I've got some new stuff in store, stuff that's coming along the way. It's not exactly, a sequel to anything that we've been doing, but I think you guys are really going to dig it. I've been developing some stuff, but yeah, thanks for having me on. It was nice to meet you. It's been really great being here,
Christian, because quite honestly, it would be cool to premiere something if you did something Thomas related. I think that would be a cool Thomas Tuesday premiere event, maybe a sneak peek or something. But
we'll see. Probably at some point in the hopefully not too far off distant future. We'll see.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And Christian, great job tonight, and thank you for bringing Jacob on. It was truly a pleasure to see all the great stuff. And sorry, but I got to hop off.
No problem. I'll mend the fort, Ken. But I'm gonna make sure, Ken, that you watch this episode.
I'm on. I've already been looking at the YouTube videos behind the scene, and I'm excited to watch them full length.
Fantastic.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Later, Ken.
See ya.
All right.
See, are we still showing the 4K version of the episode? We did promise, but
we're gonna do it. That'll be the grand finale of this stream.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll make sure I speed through these because I know you probably want to get to that.
Different toad faces. I made them. I sculpted them. I did a bunch of them.
There they are.
I guess I just anticipated that I would not have enough to talk about. I guess I really proved myself wrong.
It never happens. It's always the other way around. Always.
But no, it's great. How many people are watching the stream? I actually haven't been sort of up to date with who's.
Let's see, right now we got. It's been fluctuating between 130 and 150 people.
It's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty solid. Yeah. I mean, Ken says that when it's over 100, it's a success. So here we are.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad I can share some of this stuff. It's so much fun to talk about making models and doing prop stuff. I really appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and now let's see. Before we go into, you showcasing the models up close, I'm just trying to see anything else.
So yeah, it's really just Topham and the Toad. I'll quickly go through what we're looking at with the Toad
Okay,
here.
Sure.
So this, I got 2 Toad models. One of them was a really, really nasty beaten up kit that I sort of started with, and I think we showed the photo of it a second ago, but it was just in really awful shape. Oh, Michael White's here. Hello. Thank you for the kind words. Everyone's here. That's awesome. But
everyone's
it was. I guess like I was saying with this Toad, it was probably one of the most beat up kits I'd ever seen. Somehow I managed to bring it back from the dead for my friend Parker again for our displays, and it was just a blast to work on. And you know what? I like the one that I did for him more than the one that I did for myself. Something about the one that he ended up having was just a little bit more perfect, but it's hard to tell them apart here.
Will these Toads be at the Great British Train Show at the end of the month?
I think one of them may be. You have to tune
right,
in.
guys.
Yeah, show up to Great British Train Show and find out, because that's going to be
guys. That is going to be a
huge.
great event. I will be there, encouraging everyone to shop at trainworld.com, but also to, of course, communicate with fans and just vibe all throughout the weekend. So it's going to be a great time. Right.
I also may or may not be there. Time will tell. We shall see.
We shall see.
Yeah, you could really see how that Toad started just totally shredded.
Yeah. Wow.
But anyway, Topham's the last thing to look at. So yeah, this is a Topham I made for my friend Kevin, actually, Zeo93. If any of you guys have seen an up-and-coming young artist named The Unlucky Tug, unknown guy, I just thought I'd platform him. It feels good to lend a hand. But yeah, so Zeo, Kevin, commissioned me to make Sir Topham hat specifically in his blue Season 5 outfit. And that is probably one of my favorite models of all time. So I immediately said yes. And something really, really interesting about it, if you look at the photos where he's got that emblem on his chest, I looked it up. If you look up a hat family crest on Google, it'll actually show that design. So it's not just a fictitious thing. If you look up, family crests for different names and different, stuff like that, you'll actually find a crest for the name Hat with 2 T's, and that's the exact design. So they had a very good attention to detail whenever they were painting this model to actually make it have a correct insignia. And it's something you never would have noticed or thought of. I don't know if it carried over to the CGI series. I don't even know if it carried over to the hit era, but in Season 5, David Mitten or someone had the attention to detail to go, hey, we should make this a real thing. So Now you know. I love this little yellow tie with the red. This is a look we never really see much again. I wish that they'd shown him off in this outfit in maybe the CGI show. Hey, maybe in the 2026 reboot, if Topham's back, they can give him some different outfits, please. We're begging.
Bring it back.
As Topham's biggest fan, I'm begging.
Yeah.
Please show Blue Suit Topham in the show, please.
If you don't, I'll come up to you and I'll break in.
Give me Blue Topham.
Amazing. All right. So shall we go on to the? What do we call
I think
these?
so. I think it's time. I think it's time that people get what they want. They get to see the video from 4 years ago that they could watch the UK one muted. But
absolutely.
But disregard that. We can show you guys right here. World premiere. First time anyone's ever seen this outside of the Edison screening. The 4K version of the US version of Good Old Days. That's right. That's a mouthful, but we're doing it.
Amazing. But before we even do that, Jake, do you have any other physical models you wanted to show up on the camera right now?
Well, I do have this little guy. He's still in my possession. Here is
Excellent.
the Foreman.
You see,
I wish
Rich,
I
I
had my
wasn't lying. He
mustache. I
does
wish I
have
hadn't
more
shaved.
models.
We would have looked like brothers had I not shaved my mustache off, but that's okay. But yeah, this is the season 6 Foreman. I just had him within arm's reach, and I thought, you know what, why not? He's a nice little guy to have around.
Fantastic. Be sure to check out that video on the Flying Pringle YouTube channel.
Yes, I recently just made a whole prop restoration video about the Foreman and the Banksman as well. So if this is news to you, if you did not know, go check it out. There's some great stuff. I did a lot of little restoration work. Maybe I should have had more of that on the stream to talk about, but hey, maybe I'll save that for another Thomas Tuesday.
Yeah. Awesome. So Jacob, I actually don't have the 4K video. So would you like to share your screen for this?
Let's see. Let me pull it up. YouTube.com.
Right.
Let's see. If I send you the link, can you screen share it?
We'll give it a shot. Send it to my email address again.
Well, I'll send it to you on Discord.
Discord, all right, sure. All right, guys. The US dub of this in 4K. Just bear with us, guys. It's coming. It's coming. And for those of you who entered late, Bachmann did do the reveals at the beginning of the stream. So once we are done with this, be sure to check out maybe the first 20 minutes or so. That's when Matt did all the reveals.
Then here we go.
All right, guys. So this is it. I'm about to share my screen. Let's see. Let's see what we got.
Here we go. 4K good old days with US dub. Here it is. It's coming.
It's coming. Just give me a... Hold up. I gotta share my screen. Wait. Yeah, I gotta share my screen. Wait, where are we? Sorry. Bear with me, guys. Too much.
It's okay. I'll distract the masses. Look. It's Toby.
Here we go. All right.
Here we go.
All right, that's it, guys. Everyone happy, go home.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into Thomas Tuesday. It was so much fun, guys. Make sure to buy all the Bachmann products. Thank you so much for showing up. It was a great time. And there you go. That's the...
Just kidding. There is actually a real one that I'm going to play now. If I don't mess this up again. All right. They must have changed some things on Discord because they got everything in all different places now. Here we go. All right. Can everyone hear it?
It's coming through just fine on my end. I can't tell if the audio is sharing from... I think it might just be sharing straight from your microphone.
All right, everyone can hear this, right?
I can hear it.
Okay.
One morning, Toby the tram engine was feeling glum. The other engines were busier than ever, but poor Toby hadn't taken any passengers with Henrietta for weeks, only shunting freight cars.
I don't know if I should take this time to just let people watch it or if I should just like a commentary track. I'm sure everybody's seen it.
Oh, hello, Gordon, said Toby sadly. Are you pulling the express today?
Who else but me?
Huffed Gordon. You're lucky to always have passengers, remarked
I never
Toby.
really watch
you know,
it.
Henrietta
Okay,
and I
this is
haven't done this
for
long
me.
without passengers since. Well, not since my old tramway closed down. Then Toby remembered. It was back in the good old days, chuckled Toby.
Everybody at the premiere, like
we had our own line,
they thought we built the
whole
season
freight,
1 set.
and Henrietta was always bustling with passengers.
And then it settled
They'd
into
visit
this
us on
stock
holidays
footage.
and always remembered our names. But then they stopped coming back. My line was closed.
I did originally
and the
want to
good
film
old
these
days were
sequences
over.
for real, but we just couldn't.
It would be nice to have my own tramway again, sighed Toby, like having my own branch line.
Pa,
Snorted Gordon.
branch lines are just useless extensions of the important main line. That's all Sir Topham Hatt cares about.
And he puffed rudely away. Just then, Thomas puffed in with some freight cars. He saw Toby looking.
It's taking everything in me
What's the
not
matter?
to point out all the little nitpicks and goofs.
Just miss being useful, replied Toby. If I could just have some work to do, he said sadly. Thomas smiled.
There's me.
You
That
can
guy's
take
me.
that train of building supplies to Percy for me, said Thomas.
He's got my face.
They're needed up at the work site of the new main line extension. Then I'll be able to collect Sir Topham Hatt early, and you'll have some work to do. Toby was excited, though the extension was news to him. Come on, Toby, said his driver. We'll take Thomas's branch line and give you a nice long run. Toby was now beaming with joy. He reversed onto the train of supplies and set off for the work site.
They never used that coupling up sound effect in
But as he
season
puffed down
5.
the line, he couldn't stop thinking about what Gordon had said. Sir Topham Hatt really does only care about the main line, he thought to
Love this
himself.
shot.
Meanwhile, Percy was fuming. Where's
Here we
Thomas?
go. My favorite
I'm
set.
exhausted.
My favorite set.
He'll be here soon, soothed his driver. But we must remind him not to spoil the surprise. Percy was puzzled. What surprise?
Surprise.
Before his driver could answer, Toby arrived. Here are the building supplies, Percy, he panted. Toby, what are you doing here?
That's a real prop figure
I'm sorry.
right there.
Thomas said I could deliver these supplies for him. Is there anything else I can do to help? Percy eyed a long line of freight cars. full of
Percy's
scrap
driver's
and tree
real,
branches.
but Toby's
You
driver's
can take
a
those
replica.
cars back to the yards for me, he replied. The train looked quite heavy for Toby, but he agreed. He rolled onto the special junction.
Look,
called
there's the bird
Y
on the guy's head.
and changed direction.
You can see it. That
He then buffered up to the heavy train and saw his way. Soon, Toby was pushing the heavy train of freight cars up a big hill. He made a tremendous effort, but just as he reached the top, the weight of the cars became too much for him.
Isaiah's music always gives me
His
chills in
driver
this
shut
thing.
off steam and applied the brakes, but it was too late. There was worse to come. As Toby thundered toward the worksite, he saw Percy dead ahead on his track. "Look out, Percy!" cried Toby. Toby rocketed past Percy into some bushes near the worksite. Toby shut his eyes and braked with all his might.
That shot is flipped. I flipped that shot and then manually changed the 7 to
in front of an
match.
old station,
frame by
an old
frame.
shed. When Toby opened his eyes, he couldn't believe where he was. Percy pulled up behind him. "Are you all right, Toby?" he gasped. Toby was bubbling with
I think
excitement.
this is our best
Percy,
looking set.
this is my old tramway.
At this point we nailed it.
And look, there's my old shed. I never thought I'd see it again. Just then, Thomas arrived with a work crew and Sir Topham Hatt. He spoke sternly to Toby. "You should know your own strength by now, Toby," he boomed. "I'm sorry, sir, but I only wanted to help." "I'm aware of that. I'm just glad to see you're safe, though it's a shame you've spoiled your surprise."
There it is.
Toby was confused. "My surprise, sir?" Sir Topham Hatt smiled. "Yes, Toby. Our new extension is in fact a restoration. We are restoring and connecting your tramway with the main line and Thomas's branch line." Toby grinned from buffer to buffer. He almost couldn't believe it. "Oh, sir! Thank you, sir!" he cheered happily. When the restoration was complete, Toby and Henrietta took a special charter of friends, old and new, down the line on opening run. For Toby, it seemed the good old days were here to stay.
He's wrong roading. He's wrong roading. It's the wrong track. Well, there you go. Oh, you're muted.
There we go. Sorry, I muted myself for the whole entire time because the audio was getting all weird with my screen getting shared. But I was saying just really, really amazing work across the board.
Thank you. It means a lot. I never expected it to become this big or that it would be such a huge thing, but people still talk about it. So, I mean, hey, I must have done something right.
Well, this was a really, really special Thomas Tuesday, guys, and one that's in the books for sure. Probably in the top 5 streams, without a doubt, with Jacob Jarrett, one of the pioneers of the Thomas fandom now, with his modeling expertise, his iconic memes, and the list goes on. So be sure to check out Flying Pringle. He does amazing commission work too. So I know he's got a million things probably on his backlog right now, but for the future, definitely reach out to him if you want like a top-up custom or something along the lines of that.
Yes, I just have to say quickly, hi, Mom. Hi, Patreon supporters. And hi, everybody who's subscribed. If I haven't made a video in a month, but I've got stuff cooking. I got a lot of stuff in the chamber I'm working on. I've just been really busy with, commissions and stuff, the upcoming show. But I will be sort of back on track here in the coming weeks. So lots of stuff to look forward to. And Christian, thank you so much for having me on. This has been a blast.
It's been a pleasure, really, and really a privilege for us at Train World. And just across the board, the whole fandom has always been talking about Project Tiger Moth. So to just have a live stream where we really got to dive into the behind-the-scenes footage and talk how you did certain things, it's just really, really been a wonderful opportunity.
I hope it was insightful. I did. Sometimes because I've talked to so many people about Tiger Moth, sometimes I feel like I'm just repeating the same old stories. But no, I had a great time. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And Ken, if you're watching this at the very end, you're watching that too, that episode. You did not skip to the end to make sure that I did the closing and put in the proper conclusion. You made sure that you watched the whole episode, and I know you did because you have always been talking to me about that stuff as well. So just a little note to Ken in addition to all this. But thank you, Jacob, for coming on. Thank you guys so much in the chat, and happy Thomas Tuesday.
Yep. Bye-bye.